Hi, and welcome to Photoshop Tutorial 3. Today we are going to learn how to use some of the Photoshop drawing tools, which also helps us develop our hand-eye coordination when using the mouse and using Photoshop so that we can make better selections, as we'll need to be able to do in future Photoshop tutorials. So again, go over to your handout folder, look for J. Serretta Handout, Grade 10 Photography, Section C Photoshop. And today we're going to be working with assignment 3. Now this is the file we're going to need to open in Photoshop. And this file is also going to be useful. This walks through everything that I'm going to cover today. But more importantly, if we look at the end, what you are going to be required to do today is to create this character named Biff. So I'm just going to zoom in here to make it easier to see the completed Biff. And there's Biff. So opening up my Photoshop, here's what I'm starting off with. Okay? Again, I'm going to reset my essentials by going to Window, Workspace, and Reset Essentials so that I have my Layers panel here. Now Biff is on a background and it is locked. I've created a new layer for you called Biff, where you are going to do all of your work. So the first part of this assignment is pretty simple. You are going to select the brush tool or the pencil tool. I would recommend the pencil tool for this. It's just a little bit more precise. And up here at the top, you can change the size of the brush, okay, and the type of brush actually. So there are various brushes here that you have access to. But I'm just going to select a simple round brush, and a shortcut to change the size of the brush is if you look at your keyboard, right beside the letter P, there are two sets of square brackets. If I push the one on the left, it shrinks the brush. If I push the one on the right, it causes the brush to increase in diameter. So I'm going to shrink the brush to something that is a suitable size for this assignment. Maybe 6 pixels, maybe 5. And I'm going to reset my colors so that it's black and white. Now the first part of this assignment is going to be to trace over Biff. So I'm going to zoom in. Whoops, that's zoom out. I'm going to zoom in to make this first step easier. Select my pencil, and I can probably go smaller here. And the first part is to simply go over Biff. Okay? And you want to make sure that there are no breaks in the lines that you're drawing. Because later when we get to filling this with color, it's going to be important that we have closed lines here. Okay, so make sure you get all of Biff, including all of the inner lines, like that. Whoops, up to there. Okay. Now, what I'll do quickly here is I'll finish drawing Biff's ear. And I will finish drawing Biff's face so that I can explain to you the second part of this assignment. Okay, so there's Biff's face. So the first part of this assignment is pretty straightforward. All you're really doing is tracing over something that I've provided you with. And you should be pretty accurate in this process. The more you zoom in, the easier it's going to be. Okay, I'll just finish drawing Biff's eye. And that's done. Okay, so the first part's pretty straightforward. So if I turn off the background, Biff is here, and I can see that some of my lines aren't closed. So I should close those off for now. Okay, that looks good. Now you'll notice that Biff is asymmetrical, meaning he's not the same on both sides. That's done for a very specific purpose. You are going to draw the other half of Biff. Now, this isn't a drawing class. This is to get used to hand-eye coordination using Photoshop. So I expect that you should do a fairly good job. If you need to erase something, just erase and try again. And you are going to draw the rest of Biff. Okay, so I'm going to do his hair here. Depending on how you draw, you may want to line things up in your own way. So here I'll draw his nose. Here is his eye. Here is his other eyebrow. I notice there's a little swirl here on Biff, so I'll draw that. And slowly kind of piecework here, work on Biff. Here's his ear, so his ear should start somewhere around here, I'm assuming. So I'm just going to landmark that and draw. Here's Biff's ear. Okay, and then I can finish drawing Biff's hair. Making sure to close all the lines. Okay, so there is at least Biff's hair. Now I'm going to try to draw the rest of Biff's face. Again, taking your time here. And there's Biff. So it's close enough. Again, not a drawing course. But if you zoom in, it'll make this job a lot easier for you. So there is at least Biff's head. Obviously you're going to create Biff's body as well. But I'm just going to stop here so that I can show you what the next step is going to be. So once you finish drawing Biff, you remember that last class, below the eraser, we used something called the gradient tool. Today we're going to use the paint bucket. I don't really care what color you color Biff, but I would like you to fill Biff in with some color here. Okay, so there's his face. I may want to fill in his eyes here so that they're not transparent. And let's give Biff some funky hair color here. Okay, so I'll zoom out now, and I can see that I already have a good start on creating Biff here. So your assignment for today is going to be to trace over Biff, then finish drawing the other half of Biff. Finally, save this as File, Save As, once again using our naming convention, your last name, followed by an underscore, followed by assignment 3, and you can save that to your desktop. Okay, so click Save, click OK, and please put that in the hand-in folder.